want to introduce our first speaker. Amelia Sadler is a senior at Dexter High School. She's going to take a few minutes and talk about, under the theme of develop, and talk about her experiences as a student in Dexter Community Schools. Thank you, Amelia.
Is this on? Good. Yeah, cool. Right. Now in my fourth semester of Dexter's International Baccalaureate program, I can speak endlessly of the self-discoveries that I have made as a result of the holistic philosophy and approach of the IB. However, they all revolve around the singular notion that education should be dynamic and intertwined. An engineer doesn't only study math. A philosopher doesn't only read historical writings. An English teacher does more than bury her head in books. One such self-discovery that I feel best illustrates and captures this notion of interconnectedness is the evolution in my understanding of science. Science comes in a box. At least that's what my elementary, middle, and early high school science curriculum had taught me. Lectures were conducted and then followed with a lab that was retrieved from a shelf quite quickly, where it was sat as a prepackaged experiment. The teacher would distribute identical sets of instructions. Each student would follow those instructions to achieve the exact same predetermined result. Voila! Science. For a type A idealist like myself, this kind of manufactured lab work suited me just fine. I didn't mind or acknowledge the fact that it was rather unrealistic and only tangentially applicable to the real world. But that certainty that, if followed, the procedure would give me a perfect result was reassuring. It wasn't a lack of academic interest, but rather a focus on getting the right answer that left me so content with this pre-assembled approach to science. That certainty collapsed when I arrived as an unsuspecting junior to room 382. With the first IB biology lab Mr. Timmis handed us, all I could think was, where's the lab kit? He spoke with phrases like, design yourself and account for errors, while writing a list of only potential materials on the whiteboard. There was no worksheet, just a ballpoint pen and college ruled paper. I was to conduct, construct, and conclude a lab with total autonomy. Surveying the lab equipment, all I saw were the tools to measure liquid diffusion and cubes of auger, enshrouded by potential error. I asked Mr. Timmis, how could this simulation of cell behavior possibly be recorded without pre-measured values? How could I ever get the right answer? You know, the one that was sitting on an answer key somewhere in his desk. He smiled, and I was met with a simple answer. Account for the errors in your lab report. That was my first realization that science doesn't come in a box. Error. That is real science. And for that matter, real life. The tools we need to solve the problems facing society don't come in a set. There is not always a perfect answer. Being forced to realize that there is not a perfect procedure, that error is natural, and that there are variables beyond my control was an important step in my understanding of an appreciation of not only the sciences, but of the mechanics of problem solving. There is no manufactured procedure or process for overcoming the barriers because life's obstacles don't fit in a box. Only when I stopped focusing on getting the right answer, the one that matched the non-existent answer key, did I begin to acquire real knowledge. Because of IB, I have come to realize that if a problem can be so seamlessly resolved, there's a substantial likelihood that it was never a real problem in the first place.
So when I first got here, I remember having Kit Moran, the high school principal, tell me, you know what, we have incredible kids. And that's an example. Just to hear the level of thought developed through programming and through her own interest is phenomenal. So thank you, Amelia. Next we have middle school student. So Kiana Marquez, again, to talk about her experiences at Dexter Community Schools and how that's helping her develop as an outstanding and brilliant young lady.
Hello everyone, my name is Kiana Marquez. I'm an 8th grader at Mill Creek Middle School. I have been attending Dexter schools since 3rd grade, which makes me a 5-year student now, almost 6. To be honest, I have learned so much about myself through the schools here. I'm starting to form my identity so that I know who I am as I move forward into high school and into the world. Today, I'm going to touch base on a few of the things I have learned that are important to me: organization, work habits, and leadership. I have learned that I am someone who can't really function without an organized life. In a way, organization makes me feel like I have control over everything in my life. And that feeling is nice, until I realize that I don't. None of us do. We can't control everything in our life, but we can control enough to make it the one we want to live. So, I learned that organization enables you to control what you can in life in order to make it enjoyable. I have learned that I am someone who can't resist accomplishing above and beyond what is expected of me. I feel the need to push myself, and by doing so, I accomplish more in the same amount of time than the average person might. I set high standards for myself, not to try to do better than everyone else, but so I can put forth the best of me. Giving full effort all the time is hard to consistently do, but I think it helps that I enjoy a variety of things and I keep an open mind. So I learned that good work habits is something that comes with passion and putting forth your best effort. I have also learned that I am someone who can't and won't leave this world without leaving some kind of impact on it. During this time of my life, the best I can do to make a good impact on the world around me is help others and be unique and creative. I think everyone deserves to live how they want, even if it takes a lot of work to give them the help that allows them to do so. To be yourself means being confident and having the courage to be who you are, which can be difficult, but always worth it in the end. So, I learned that a good leader seeks for the good of all and is confident with themselves. I have been to many schools and been encountered by many different principals of these schools, for good reasons, of course. None of them have ever appeared to me as striking as Miss Bronson, though. For those who don't know Miss Bronson, she's the principal at Mill Creek Middle School. She has a very enthusiastic personality. She has so much intellect of today's generation, it makes sense that she leads the children of the future. She has such a genuine character, and I am very grateful that I have someone during my middle school years to teach me about the important things in life. She is my role model, and she has impacted my characteristics in so many good ways. As I reach the end of this speech, I hope you can understand that every opportunity provides us with the chance to understand our genuine character. I can proudly say that the people in the environment of Dexter has made a huge influence on the person I am today. I feel so blessed to be raised in a town that cares a lot about education. It has been such an honor presenting here today. Thank you.
So our vision is to champion, learn, develop, educate, and inspire. We just had 2 examples from the mouths of students on how, as a system, we've helped them develop.